Scoliosis treatments go back 3,000 years. Both Galen and Hippocrates tried to help people with it. Now, some of their treatments were better than others. But once we as humans discovered painkillers, antibiotics, and surgery, the medical world figured that surgery was the best way to treat scoliosis. And as such, if you've been diagnosed with scoliosis, your doctor has probably told you one of three things. Number one, wait and see. Number two, bracing and surgery. Number three, painkillers. The problem with those three options is that we know that most curves will progress 1 to 7 degrees a year, and the rate only gets faster as you get older. So wait and see can lead to bracing and surgery, which can then lead to painkillers. It's essentially a self-fulfilling prophecy. Now, this is part one of my 6-part video series on this movement-based approach to scoliosis. Now, if you're like most people, you probably don't want to passively wait and see what happens. You don't want to go back to your doctor every few years for another x-ray to see how much the curve has grown. You want to know what you can do about it, and you want to know what you can do about it now. This is exactly the same thought that put me on a journey that ultimately led me to creating the world's first online program for scoliosis, something I call the Scoliosis Correction Protocol. Now, I'll tell you how this came about in a minute. My name is Ed Paget, and I'm a UK trained osteopath and exercise physiologist. And for the past 15 years, I've helped thousands of people take control of their curves with this protocol. Now, for most of my career, I've been based in Canada, where I enjoyed owning the first osteopathic clinic in Alberta, and I worked with athletes all the way up to the Olympic level. Now, it was fun working with athletes, but I knew my calling was with a different group. After a car crash in my late teens, I suffered from back pain. And as since, I've always had an interest in helping people with back pain and back problems. But I, just like every other physical therapist, chiropractor, osteopath, didn't have specialist training in scoliosis. And I was lost if I was asked to help someone with it. So this gap in my knowledge led me on a journey that took me around the world, learning from different thinkers and mavericks in the scoliosis space. Now, I took some of the concepts that I learned and I put them on YouTube. And from the comments I received, I found out that these videos were helping people all over the world. I had positive comments from places like India and China, Europe, and America. Now, I knew then that I'd found the people that I wanted to work with, the people that could benefit the most from what I had to offer. I dedicated every waking hour to studying scoliosis, why some people got worse, why some people got better. I studied what was currently being offered to help people and why there were so many conflicting philosophies. This is when I realized that the wait and see approach, which is simply monitoring a curve, surgery and painkillers, they don't attempt to slow down, stop, or even reverse the curve, which is ultimately what most people want. I realized that people are turning to things like Pilates and yoga to help their scoliosis, but the instructors, even though they're doing their best, they just don't have the knowledge to correct a scoliosis. And this is why people feel let down by their doctors, frustrated that they are told there is nothing to do unless the curve gets severe enough, like over a certain percentage or a certain angle, to warrant surgery. But all the while, they get pain, stiffness, and their fatigue increases. Now, you may find yourself getting worried that your scoliosis will get worse as you age. And you may wonder if your vacations and trips will be slowed down by you and your back. You may find that work is becoming harder, that the pain of doing simple tasks like washing the dishes, they're becoming sort of danger zones that you don't want to go to because the pain can be too much. But here's the thing, there is something you can do. It doesn't matter if you've got an S curve or a C curve, because it's important to understand that scoliosis is a 3-dimensional problem. Therefore, you need a 3-dimensional solution. You need to know exactly what type of scoliosis you have. And I'll talk more about that at the end. But my course is built on the knowledge of my exercise physiology degree, my osteopathy, and training with some of the best in the world. And that means I can teach you exactly what exercises you should be doing to correct your curve from left to right. And I can teach you what exercises you should be doing to correct the rotation or the rib hump, if you have one, and show you how to correct the spine from going forwards, or sometimes even when it's too far backwards. Now, the results are less pain, more endurance, and the ability to stand taller and reduce the size of your rib hump, meaning that the scoliosis will be less visible to you and less visible to other people. But I'm not about just showing you the exercises. I think it's important for you to know the why behind the exercises, because if you understand the movement, embody the philosophy, you will begin to understand how everyday things can help you or hinder you. For example, if you cross your legs when you sit, it raises your pelvis on one side, and that can make your lower curve worse or better, depending on which way it goes. And when you go to sleep, I'll teach you different ways that you can sleep to help your back. And you'll learn how to combine simple things like raising one side of your pelvis when you brush your teeth, because you've already set aside the time for brushing your teeth. And so doing a little mobility exercise for your lower back whilst you're doing that doesn't take any more time out of your day. Now, once you know what you can do, you can be confident over time your back can improve and the progression of your curve isn't inevitable. Now, I'm not saying that every curve can be straightened, as there are 3 steps involved when managing a scoliosis. First, we want to slow down the speed of the progression. Second, we want to stop that progression. And lastly, we want to try and reduce it. Now, in my experience, it's easier to reduce the curve of a teenager than it is a 70-year-old, but both groups can benefit from directly working on their spines. Now, I've had people with scoliosis tell me that playing with their kids or grandkids is kept short because of the pain or the fear of the pain they might get later on. And some people may have even resided themselves the fact there is nothing they can do about their scoliosis, thinking that it's genetic because it runs in their family. But they definitely don't want to end up like their mother or aunt or grandmother or whoever in their family has it. And all their doctor can say to them is wait and see. Now, that's not very empowering, is it? But what if you knew what to do for your scoliosis? If you knew exactly what movements to do with your head, with your arms that can make you feel better, and exactly what movements to do with your legs to correct the curve from the bottom up, to give you more mobility and stability. Now imagine waking up every day with no more anxiety about which movements make your back worse or which movements make your back better, just confidence knowing which ones to do. Imagine how good it feels when you have the freedom to do your favorite physical activities again. And maybe that's golf, or tennis, or skiing, or as lots of my clients love to do, just simply hiking without the need for painkillers. Now, I've had clients tell me that just after a few short weeks of doing these specific exercises for their spine, that their long-term pain and fatigue has gotten significantly better. Look, I can talk about this stuff all day, but I don't want this video to be too long. So in my next video, I'm going to show you exactly how to identify what type of scoliosis you have, and so that you can then take that knowledge and do these specific exercises for your spine. Now, you'll be surprised about how many people look at x-rays the wrong way around, or they just don't understand what their doctor has told them. If that sounds like something that you want to know about, I'm going to give you a little bonus. If you email me, ed@edpaget.com, send me your x-rays or the report you have from your x-rays, and I'll keep your confidentiality, of course, but I want to use those pictures in my next video. So I will tell you what curve you have live in my next video. So email me, ed@edpaget.com, with your x-rays or your report, and I'll go through it in the next video. Now, I'm also excited to announce, for those of you who are serious about slowing down, stopping, or reversing your scoliosis, that on September 12th, I will be accepting enrollment onto the online course, the Scoliosis Correction Protocol. I'll be taking a handful of people and teaching them exactly what to do for their curves on a daily and weekly basis, so they can turn fear into confidence, decrease their pain, increase endurance, and help them enjoy life without their spines holding them back. Now, as much as I'd like to help everyone with specific scoliosis exercises, I find that my clients get the best results when I'm available to them in the live group calls and Q&A online. And for me to give that amount of individualized attention, I keep the numbers small. So this is going to be a genuinely rare opportunity, and spots are granted on a first come, first served basis. Now, I'm going to give you a little tip here. So if that's something that you are interested in, you haven't already done it, make sure you click on the link below and enter in your name and email, and that will put you on the early bird waitlist. What that means is the day before we go live, I'm going to send an email to everyone on the early bird waitlist with an opportunity to join, and that way they can almost guarantee their spot. After that, I'll open it up to the general public. That being said, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, send me a message and I'm more than happy to help out. And as I mentioned, stay tuned for video 2, because I'll be showing you exactly how to understand your scoliosis from x-rays and a simple home test. See you there.